Kershaw go for the series win on Easter Sunday. Happy Easter. Hope you and yours are having a good one so far. Beautiful day for baseball here in the Midwest. Temperature supposed to reach 70 degrees, and so the roof is open for the first time in this 4-game series. The Dodgers and the Brewers. Glad you're with us. Joe Davis or Hershiser and Alana Rizzo joins us in a moment. Because the Dodgers took the first 2 games of the series, it feels like it qualifies as a disappointment if they had to settle for a split. So Kershaw trying to pitch them to a big win today.
You know, win the series here, then you go into Chicago. Even if you win 1 in Chicago, then you've got a winning road trip. So this is good. It's a bad taste from yesterday, but things are going well.
Clayton Kershaw's second start of the season after the slow ramp up in spring training with a shoulder irritation, and he was really good the first time around.
He was fantastic. You know what? Even the impressive meet, the curveball was dropping from the sky. He really has enjoyed pitching here at Miller Park over his career. He's going to throw a lot of strikes, but I think he needs to keep them chasing. The way he's going to do that is landing that slider.
All right, let's go down to Alana Rizzo now.
Joe, dating back to last year's NLCS, these two teams are very comparable. Continuing into the 2019 season, just look at the home runs. Both teams have 41, tied for the league in the National League. Christian Yelich, a lot of those. And really, in this series, the Milwaukee Brewers have scored all of their runs via the home run. With what Christian Yelich is doing, you can understand why you'd want to intentionally walk him. Eric Thames with that solo shot on Friday, and Ryan Braun, despite coming into the game yesterday with a 182 average, that 3-run jack off of Caleb Ferguson, guys.
Yep, taking advantage of the intentional walk in front of him to give the Brewers the 5-0 win. Some Easter eggs getting grilled out in the parking lot here at Miller Park. The Dodgers and Brewers ready to play the finale. Coming up from Milwaukee. They play 7 times in the span of 10 days, and it all wraps up. The regular season series does today, and it is the regular season series rubber match with the Dodgers and Brewers splitting the first 6. And under bright, light blue skies on this Easter Sunday, we're ready for the finale. Take a look at the Dodger lineup for this final game. Jock Peterson is celebrating his 27th birthday today. Leads things off and starts in left field. The shortstop is Corey Seager, with Justin Turner at third base hitting third. In right field, Cody Bellinger. Max Muncy had yesterday off out of the starting lineup. He's back in there at first, hitting fifth. Same thing with Kike Hernandez, who will start at second base. First start of the season in center for Alex Verdugo. And Austin Barnes does the catching for Clayton Kershaw. Against the 26-year-old out of a dot on the map in Mississippi, Wheeler, Mississippi, not too far from Tupelo, making his 5th start of the season, and the ERA so far above 5. He's part of what has been a struggling rotation for Milwaukee.
You know, he strikes out more than a guy an inning, but he also gives up more than a hit an inning. What that tells me is if you chase him, or his sharp stuff is off the plate, so you take it for a ball instead of swinging at it, when he throws strikes, they're very hittable and they can cause some damage. So for the Dodgers, be patient, try and stay away from hitting the slider. It's really his best out pitch. Pick on the fastball and pick on the changeup.
Highest hard hit rate in baseball, allowed by Brandon Woodruff. And the problem along with that is that his ground ball percentage is way down. The line drives have replaced those ground balls from a year ago. There has been a decent amount of damage against it.
There's not a big change of speeds between the top-end fastball at 96, the slider at 89, and then the changeup is only 9 miles an hour away. So every one of his pitches, when you go to attempt to hit the fastball, you can still keep the changeup and the slider in fair territory, and that means your timing is going to be better. Up go the hard hit rate.
So perhaps recipe to get right after they were shut out yesterday and manage a season-low 2 singles in that game. First game all year, the Dodgers didn't have an extra base hit. The Brewers took it 5-0 after a 3-1 win in Game 1 and a 5-3 win in Game 2.
Jock got the engine started yesterday. There just wasn't much engine behind him.
That hit that started yesterday's game for Jock His only one of this series in 8 ABs. He climbs in there. Woodruff winds and deals, and off we go with a fastball outside. It's almost like a completely different ballpark when the roof is open, isn't it?
This is the first game for them this year that the roof has been open. We've got fans in the sun. They've got to think they are in the most beautiful day going.
Peterson hits a high fly ball to deep center field. Kane is back. That is gone. Jock Peterson, for the second season in a row, celebrates his birthday with a home run. This one comes on the second pitch of the day.
The field is almost completely engulfed in sunshine, and that is excuse me, a very bright moment for the Dodgers.
You all right? I'm choked up. I mean, home runs really get you.
They get me, especially when they score after a shutout.
Right.
Got me going.
Yes. Hang in there, big fella. So leadoff home run from Peterson, and now ball one on Seager.
It's those home runs on guys' birthdays that choke me up.
Yeah.
He's got some serious eye black working.
13th career leadoff home run. And now Seager strokes the ball to left center field that's going to split the gap. And they start the day with a home run and then a double. We just mentioned they had their first game of the season without an extra base hit. They have 2 over the first 4 pitches in the follow-up performance.
We've seen Corey hit a lot of balls to left field, but when he starts pulling it from left field to get it over to left center, that means he's getting less side spin, he's more on time, and he hits it a lot further.
So run scoring opportunity here for the Dodgers and Justin Turner. 0 for 2 last night, walked a couple of times, 1 for 9 in the series. The first one from Woodruff, he takes a strike. Dodgers going for the series win after they had their 6-game winning streak snapped yesterday. And the Brewers win ended their own 3-game losing streak. The 0-1 pitch. Turner watches it catch the bottom of the zone, strike 2. Last game for Woodruff beat the Cardinals. It was on Tuesday here. Held them to 2 runs over 5 2/3. Here he comes with an 0-2.
Justin trying to move him over, but, you know, his conventional thinking right here with 2 strikes in any position will be to kind of favor the opposite field. First inning, first at bat, already have a run on the board, even though there's a man on second and no out. Early in the count, he's hitting for himself, but now he's probably working the right side.
On another 0-2 pitch, he does get the job done, advancing Seager to third with a ground out to Perez.
Outstanding attempt and outstanding execution from Justin Turner right there.
1 on 1 out in a 1-0 game. Cody Bellinger comes up. A rare offer last night for him, although he did take a walk. Has reached in all but one of his games this year. Poked foul.
This is pretty much a gift RBI for Cody. Just put the ball in play. Dave Roberts gave him a pep talk the other night when he had just a sac fly with the bases loaded to left field, and he's like, that's your low bar now. That's the minimum you're going to get in that at bat, and the minimum he needs to get in this at bat is put it in play and get the run across.
Yeah, because he came off looking bummed after a sacrifice fly that tied the game on Friday night. Fouled off 0-2.
So here's where the work begins to keep that bottom line up, which is don't strike out, don't pop up. Hit a routine ground ball to the right side like Justin did to move over Seager and get the RBI.
He's got 25 of them this season, second only to Christian Yelich. Second in homers to Yelich as well. On an 0-2. He shoots a base hit to left center, and the Dodgers lead it 2-0 as Seager comes home. RBI number 26 for Bellinger.
Cody's spray pattern set this up as we take a look at the Morongo slow-mo cam. If he goes ground ball to the right side, they're all back and shifted deep into right field. And if he goes ground ball to the left side, waiting for the pitch a little bit longer, making sure he doesn't strike out, get a good pitch to hit, it's wide open on the left.
Dave Roberts talks about how his pregame work has gone to just an entirely new level of consistency and focus. Muncy to the plate here with one out, and he takes a strike. You've even compared him in the way that he looks when he walks up to the batting cage at 4 o'clock each day to Chase Utley.
He's that focused, leaving the tunnel. It's not like, going over and talking to a lot of other players, talking to coaches, talking to media. No, he walks with a purpose. It's kind of like Clayton on his game days. You just don't talk to him. He's almost got that persona about him that I'm locked in right now. I'm in a place. If you say hi to him, he's polite enough to say hi back, but you might not even get eye contact.
And it's not like he was ever a class clown.
No.
Always been serious about his work, but it's just gone to a new level this year.
And a very nice guy without the game face, and nice guy with the game face, but you just understand, this is what it takes for him right now to prepare.
Ball and a strike on Muncy. Good lead at first for Bellinger. Not running as Muncy takes ball 2. And Dave Roberts has made it a point to reinforce every day how important it is and how impressed he is to see Bellinger going about his work like that.
With no hits yesterday, I'm sure Dave, and having that conversation with him, is completely about the execution of the preparation, not the results from yesterday.
Which is so hard. It's so hard for any player, especially young players, to be process-driven as opposed to results-driven. We talked about it with Jock Peterson the other night. Now, that's been a big part of his evolution, getting beyond that part in his brain. Where an 0 for 4 may be a bummer, but if he can look and see that the process was what it needed to be, he's still happy. That's a strike, 3-2.
I remember walking out to the family room and greeting my family after a game where I lost and being happy and excited to go to dinner. And they're like, "You lost, we're sad." And I'm like, "No, I did everything right. Those ground balls, they found holes. I actually made some great 0-2 pitches where they just kind of threw the bat at it and there was a blooper over second. And then I've come out after throwing like a 2-0 shutout and felt terrible. And they're like, "You threw a shutout. This is amazing." I'm like, "I hung so many pitches today. If I throw like that the rest of the year, I'm going to get, it handed to me." And they just didn't understand the difference between the execution and the results, because as a fan or a family member, you just want results.
Full count on Muncy. Bellinger runs. Muncy grounds it foul. And you may hear that and say, well, how can you be happy with a loss? Isn't that against what we're all in this for? But baseball, over the course of a 162-game season, there is so much losing and failure that if you are completely results-oriented, it's going to drive you into the ground.
Yeah, it will. And you don't sleep, and your stomach hurts, and you can't eat, and you just can't go there. You've got to evaluate yourself on preparation and execution.
Bellinger goes again. Muncy checks his swing and takes ball 4. Brewers hustling over to third because of the shift. There was nobody over there. First and second with 1 out.
4 batters. 4 have reached 3 hits and a walk. And that tells you the story. No strikeout yet. The Dodgers are showing discipline. And when the ball's over the plate and flat, they're powdering it. When this guy has done well, Woodruff does well, it's lineups that chase, lineups that swing and miss when he makes the high fastball. But when he is wide, you take it. And when he's over the plate, hittable, you let him have it.
Defense behind him today brought to you by Keck Medicine of USC. It's got to be a good feeling as a pitcher knowing you've got one of the game's best room in center field for you. Since the start of last season, nobody with more defensive runs saved than Lorenzo Cain. First and second, 1 gone, and the hitter is Hernandez. Game-winning home run against Josh Hader on Friday night. Said he took to the plate with him. Hitting philosophy of David Freese and the bat of Cody Bellinger. Told Alana that's pretty good combo when you take the advice of the veteran and the bat of the MVP. Fouls it back and it's 0-2. And he talks to David Freese just about every night after the game. They exchange text messages. They talk in the clubhouse, rehash at-bats from earlier that day. And Kike had recalled a very competitive at-bat from David Freese against Josh Hader during the homestand last weekend. They had a conversation immediately following that game. And Kike remembered the things that he'd taken from that talk and applied it to his matchup with Hader. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Shorten up. Don't try and do too much. Maybe even shorten up a little earlier in the account and just stay locked in. Ball's still got to come over the plate.
On a 1-2. He swings through it, strike 3. First K of the afternoon for Woodruff and 2 gone. So now here's Alex Verdugo's making his first start in center field this season with A.J. Pollock getting the afternoon off. Started a handful of games there last year. But all the starts this season have been in the corners. Two on, 2 out, and ball 1. Ball and a strike. Situationally, Verdugo's been very good this year, whether that's pinch hitting or runners in scoring position or 2-out hitting. Even in limited opportunities, he's top 5 in the National League in 2-out RBIs this year. Got a chance at a couple here as he waits on this 1-1 from Woodruff. Flips it down the line. That'll peel into the seats. 1-2.
So comfortable in the box. Tell you what, when we're watching other guys grow, but this guy's growing in leaps and bounds, and I'm not sure it's growth as much as it's just exposure.
Yeah.
I think it's always been there. I think it's just we think he's growing in front of our eyes because we're just seeing him more often because of the results.
A 1-2. He digs it out and sends it to center, where Kane will drift to his right to put it away. But the Dodgers, after getting shut out, waste no time getting on the board in this one. Jock Peterson, the birthday boy, on the second pitch of the afternoon, hits his 9th home run of the season off of the batter's eye in center to the bottom of the first, 2-0. 2-punch in their lineup as any in the National League at the top, and Kane and Yelich. And then it's Braun, who hit the big 3-run home run yesterday. Grandal's back in there catching, followed by Aguilar and Perez, then Travis Shaw at third, and Orlando Arcia playing shortstop. Season debut for Kershaw on Monday against Cincinnati. Allowed the 2-run home run in the first inning to Yasiel Puig. Nothing else over the course of 7 really encouraging innings.
A very typical Clayton Kershaw outing. He was attacking the strike zone, no walks, got his share of strikeouts, and kept the hits really down low.
His first pitch of this one is taken for a strike by Kane. And as we talked about off of the top, he's pitching in a ballpark where he's really been good. 4-1 here with an ERA of 1.40. Kane, it's chopper to Seager. There were a lot of those against Cincinnati. A lot of weak ground ball outs induced by Kershaw. He gets one for the first out today in front of Christian Yelich in our Land Rover Performance Spotlight. Yelich with 2 more home runs last night. That's 4 in this series. That's 8 over the 6 games on this homestand.
One of those home runs yesterday on a first pitch breaking ball, so Clayton needs to be mystifying here even on the first pitch.
Fastball gets him swinging, strike 1. And Yelich has, even before he turned into Christian Yelich as we know him now, always been good against Kershaw. 9 of 21 with a home run and a pair of doubles against Clayton. Some of the best numbers of any left-handed hitter ever against Kershaw. On a 1-1 pitch, a curve is a little bit low, ball 2. And what do you do at this point against this guy?
Pitch him very carefully, and especially here at home, the way the ball jumps out of here, and the success he's had.
Nice looking slider, 2-2.
Clayton's gone right to full metal jacket. He's thrown 2 fastballs, a curveball, and now a slider. So no saving anything for later in the game. You do that with the hottest of hitters and the guys with the most talent.
2-2. Throw him another slider. This one was low, and the count goes full. Yelich with a very good chance to finish this month of April with the most home runs in baseball history before May 1st. Takes the walk here. He's still got 8 games to play. He's 1 short of the record. Albert Pujols, 2006, hit 14 before May 1st. The following season, A-Rod hit 14 before May 1st. Went on to win the MVP that year. Yelich within 1 home run, and again, still about 10 days left.
I got to believe he's going to do it. It's the way he's swinging the bat, and you can feel like you're shutting him down, but he's still hitting the ball hard.
First walk Kershaw's issued, and up comes Ryan Braun, who took advantage of the walk that they issued to Christian Yelich last night by pounding the 3-run home run. Really put the game on ice. It was dramatic until that point, still 2-0. And then Braun left the building, and with the Dodger offense struggling to make any noise, it took the air out of it. Chopper to third that backs up Turner. They get the out at second. That's all. 2 away. And now Kershaw to face his old battery mate, Yasmani Grandal. Strike one. 92, which would be the hardest fastball that he's thrown this year. Average about 90 on Monday, and the hardest one that he threw is 91.2. Grandal yanks that one foul, and it's 0-2. Nice play down there.
Big smile. He's doing it on a big league field in front of a big league audience.
Just missed. Going up and arm side with that fastball.
Clayton thought he had a strike, just off the edge.
You always talk about if he can command that side of the plate, it makes him extra tough. Goes back there with the curve and misses.
Well, visually, that high fastball away to a righty, and then the breaking ball, that same tunnel that we've talked about. So that's the combo. He can go back high and away. Asmani might be late then. He looks like he's coming in.
With the slider that's dragged foul. Right, you've got that same tunnel to the outside with a fastball curveball. But then you also have in the back of the hitter's minds that you can pound him in with a slider.
Yeah, the low fastball and the slider kind of work off the same tunnel, and the high fastball and the curveball. And I've always said, you know, Clayton through his prime and now here on the second half of his career, he's always been two pitchers in one body. You know, there's the fastball slider pitcher and there's the fastball curveball pitcher. If he ever adds a changeup, you know, that would definitely help him continue into the later years of his career. But because he's already two pitchers in one body, it's not really like the changeup is necessary.
And it's almost like the curveball serves as that severe change in speed. And Clayton has said until he becomes desperate for it, not worth investing the time in it, not confident enough to throw it in games yet. Fouled back, and we'll do it again.
As long as the core of your arsenal is still strong enough to more than survive, you don't really continue to add. And I think for Clayton to put the work in on the changeup, the reps between outings, the reps in spring training, to really go for it, it's going to take away from his current core, which is still strong enough to win a Cy Young.
Runner at first, two gone, coming back inside with a 3-2 and missing his second walk of this first inning after he went without one in his season debut. Dodger defense today brought to you by Keck Medicine of USC. And there is Verdugo starting in center for the first time this year.
With A.J. Pollock off his legs. We've got some weather and tough games in Chicago. Alex Verdugo definitely not a downgrade when you put him out there anywhere.
2 on, 2 out for the struggling Jesus Aguilar. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 year after he was an All-Star, hit 35 home runs. He has scuffled out of the gates in a big way. Not just 145, but almost a month into this season, he's got just 2 extra base hits, no home runs. Hammers this ball to center, but just missed it. Verdugo's there to put it away and end the first. Kershaw and the Dodgers in front 2-0 on this gorgeous Easter Sunday. Sunday best. Although that says a Christmas story on it. That was weird. Got to get the bunny ears. Oh, he got his holidays mixed up. 2-0 on to the second. Hope you're having a great Easter Sunday. Joe Davis or Hershiser, Alana Rizzo. And it's Barnes to start this second against Brandon Woodruff. Looking at a strike over the inside corner. Leadoff home run from Jock Peterson today. They added another with Bellinger driving in Seager, who had doubled. Trying to take 3 of 4 from Milwaukee. That's a strike 0-2. Ending a stretch here today, Orel, of 17 games in 17 days.
It's right up against the basic agreement. How many you can play in a row without an off day.
Tap left side. Travis Shaw for the first out. Clayton Kershaw coming to the plate. We go down to Alana Rizzo.
Guys, not only 17 days in a row, but 24 games out of 25 days. And I asked Dave Roberts about this tough stretch and the way that they've gotten off to a 14-9 start despite that struggle in St. Louis. He said, you know what, I think we're playing really good baseball. We knew this stretch would be tough, but he really likes the way that his team is playing. He admits that they've been grinding, certainly, but they do see that light at the end of the tunnel. Everybody is looking forward to the off day, and they'll get back to work on Tuesday.
It's a ball on Kershaw. And really, with it being a day game leading into the off day, it's almost like they get a day and a half off. Able to take their times getting down to Chicago tonight. And then enjoy the full day off there tomorrow. That's a strike 1-1.
Early runs for Clayton are a bonus. Not only when you're a starter and you get them early like that, but now when the shadows start to creep in, maybe by the time you leave the game, the bullpen might be ready.
Strikeout for Woodruff, his second of the day. 2 gone in the second. And back to the top of the order with Jock Peterson in our Coors Banquet timeless moment. Boy, he came out looking like he was a toddler. On this date, 1992, he was born.
He was a big baby.
Yeah. One of 4 kids. 1 girl, JC, soccer player at UCLA, 3 boys. Jock, Tiger, and Champ.
Hasn't changed his swing a bit. He's got that flat bat position.
Takes a fastball to 96 for strike 1. He had never hit a home run on his birthday before last year, and now he's done it back-to-back seasons. Last year, it was his first of the year on this date. Went on to hit 25. This year, it's already his 9th, which places him in the top 5 in baseball. And that is in somewhat of a limited role with him not getting starts against left-handed pitching. So 9 home runs, his 4th in the majors, even though he's only starting about 75% of the time.
Another guy who might get asked to be in the home run derby.
He could
have a shot at $1 million.
He's done it before. Did it as a rookie. He grounds another hit into center. So Jock Peterson is 2 for 2, and this inning's kept alive for Seager.
Nice approach for a guy who got a home run in his first at bat to go the opposite way and just kind of put it in play to beat the shift. So much emphasis from the Dodger staff, and now the team has really picked up on it, on how to do the little things in the games to try and put them over the top and win the crown. Beating the shift is one of the focuses.
Seager doubled the other way his first time and came in to score on Bellinger's hit. Well, many of the analytics and advanced stats and the scouting reports that are so advanced now, a lot of that seems to get applied to run prevention more than it does producing runs, whether that's the defense or it's pitchers attacking certain parts of the zone. And so teams are beginning to look at a way to strike back against that with the information. Seager muscles one to left center that's going to get down and to the wall. Jock Peterson will score all the way from first on Seager's second double of the day, making it 3-0.
Is he about to get hot? Watch out. Corey, instead of slicing fly balls to left field, is driving balls to left center. Those results are usually the beginning of a very long hot streak. As soon as this ball gets through and then caroms back towards center field, Jock is going to score easily.
So 2 in the first, 1 here in the second, and a 2-out opportunity for Justin Turner. Strike 1. And you talked about some of the ways the Dodgers are going about trying to beat the shift, trying to strike back against all the information, which seems to favor the pitchers and run prevention more. Another way is the way they've kind of reimagined the hitting coach position, splitting that up between Brant Brown and Robert Van Scoyoc, somebody who never played the game professionally. 1 ball and 1 strike. And they have gone to levels not really seen anywhere else in how specific their plan is for the opposing pitcher each day. It is tailored to each individual hitter. They've got a game plan as a team, but then each individual guy has his own plan for that day's pitcher. Ball 2.
If you think about analytics and you think about defense, you can have 10, 12 minds on that, and you are for sure 100% exactly where you want them and to the data. If you think about the pitcher and the catcher, you have 2 brains plus the front office plus then a chart on the catcher's wrist that's going to be there for you. With the hitter, how much is making it into the batter's box? And that's where the Dodgers are really concentrating on prepping the hitter beyond just here's the scouting report on the guy and here's maybe his tendencies, but tailoring it to the guy. And in making it more specific for the hitter, I think the hitters will bring more information into the batter's box.
Turner takes a walk, his 5th of this series, and they're first and second with 2 gone.
2 different components to a hitter going into the box. There's first of all his capability to remember in the moment what's going on and what possibly could be thrown or what areas to look for. And then the other is the trust factor. Some hitters are more athletic and don't need to want that information, makes them kind of paralysis by analysis. And other hitters are very free and easy and keep their athleticism and their ability to play baseball with the information still in their head.
Bellinger with 2 on and 2 out. Takes a change for a strike. But if the information is tailored to you,
it's a little easier to remember, a little bit more trustworthy.
It's like if a shirt is tailored to you, it's a little easier to wear.
Exactly. We need to look into that.
Seager at second and Turner at first. And Bellinger backed off of the plate. Back-to-back off-speed pitches to him. Beat the shift with a single his first time to bring home Seager and make it 2-0. That was his first hit against Woodruff. Actually, his first time putting the ball in play against Woodruff. He had struck out in all 4 of his ABs against him prior. Behind here, 1-2.
I talked about the lesson from Sandy Koufax about how to go deep in the game. And by getting the guys out you're supposed to get out. Cody Bellinger used to be one of those guys for Woodruff. Get the guys out you're supposed to get out. He's gone from the guy you're supposed to get out to the guy you might want to avoid.
Guy you hope you can get out.
Yeah.
Pushes off with a 1-2, and Bellinger muscles one that will get through for another hit into center. 2 hits, 2 RBIs for Cody Bellinger, and 2 runs for the Dodgers in each of the first 2 innings. They lead it 4-0.
Somebody on the Dodger bench has to be shaking their hands, pointing towards the ground like barrels are overrated. This one's not hit by Chris Taylor, but Cody Bellinger will say making contact right here paid off. It's a lot better than walking back to the dugout or out to your position from striking out.
That's a whole nother conversation, right? As we're talking about the offense across baseball and trying to make that next step moving forward across baseball. Big part of that is avoiding strikeouts because they've become so prevalent. Here's Muncy with runners at first and third and 2 gone. Swinging and missing, strike 1.
I think it's worth repeating that 50% of the at-bats on a big league team, on a big league, all of the big leagues, on a big league career, 50% of the at-bats are going to end with 2 strikes. So how you hit with 2 strikes is a huge component of how big a year you have or how big a year your team has. And Dodgers are right at the top of the National League with that. I think they're number 1 or number 2 right now. And guess what the average is? It's not some glowing thing. It's just barely below 200. They were hitting coming into yesterday with 2 strikes, 195. But putting the ball in play with 2 strikes, productive outs, not striking out, and hitting around 200. You do that, and then in your hot streaks, you hit 400, and all of a sudden, the team's a 300 hitting team, or the individual is. Because remember, you're talking about 50% of the at-bats. I was lucky to get through that one, Joe. That was a lot of math. A lot of times I get it wrong.
No, you nailed it.
Thanks.
Good coffee this morning?
Kershaw day.
Yeah, that'll get you ready. It'll get you on your toes.
How big a deal are you with playoff sports going on around you Easter Sunday and still get a Kershaw day?
1 and 2 on Muncy.
You are big news.
Mentioned yesterday, Max's parents are in town for this weekend series. So happy to have him back in the lineup today. Lee and Midge are. Lee 2 weeks away from retirement in his career as a geologist.
And a pretty good baseball coach.
Mm-hmm. Coming inside with a 1-2 to his son Max. That's low. Bellinger taking second without a throw. Yeah, so obviously Lee coached Max, his individual coach, and coached some of his Little League teams. Donnie Hart, who is a reliever for the Brewers, was on those teams. So Lee can brag that he was a coach to 2 major leaguers on the same team in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
They even laughed about it when they faced each other. It's like it was hard to figure out who to root for.
Muncy able to lay off one that cuts inside and runs the count full. They also played a little bit with Paul Goldschmidt.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good team.
Pretty good. Turner at third, Bellinger at second. Already 2 in the bank here in the second inning. And on a 3-2, Muncy looking for more.
This Dodger lineup is a pain to get through. If they're not chasing, which they don't do very often, they're making you come into the strike zone. And then you show power up and down the whole lineup. And if they get to the point where they're great 2-strike hitters, which they've shown so far this year, and even 2-out RBI guys, this is a tough offense.
Another 3-2 to Muncy, and he's able to put it in play. A juggle from Perez, and it wound up being a close play. But he does get it there in time. Not before the Dodgers get a couple more. Corey Seager with an RBI double to left center. And then Cody Bellinger with his second run driven in already today. To the bottom of the second we go. Pitch around a pair of first innings. And the offense has gotten things going in support. 4-0 to the bottom of the second. On a picture-perfect day here in Milwaukee. Hernan Perez leads the inning off and takes ball 1. 70 degrees. The roof is open for the first time here this year. Fitting way to spend Easter Sunday. 2-0.
If you're a local, you probably have a smile on your face that you can't wipe off no matter what's going on. This is that kind of day. They haven't seen a lot of sunshine here. They had had snow here as late as last week.
And now they got the sunshine. They got their Brewers in first place and their Milwaukee Bucks. Everybody fired up about. 3-1 on Perez.
So it won't hurt their mood too much if the Dodgers win this series, win 3 out of 4. We'll be out of here quickly. We'll go down the road. Don't worry about us.
That's a leadoff walk. Rare for Kershaw, already 3 walks today. We go down to Alana.
Guys, on Monday, Jackie Robinson Day, I told you about Clayton Kershaw teaming up with the Dodgers Foundation to develop 2 more Dodgers Dream Fields. Well, in addition to that commitment, Clayton Kershaw is going to help a lucky fan win the ultimate Dodgers game day experience and raise funds for the project through a sweepstakes, which includes a game of catch with Clayton Kershaw, a round-trip airfare to Los Angeles, and a 4-star hotel, a pregame tour. It gets better. Batting practice experience, a Kershaw autographed baseball, and 2 tickets to the Lexus Dugout Club. All proceeds from the sweepstakes go towards the completion of the Gonzalez Park Dodgers Dream Field. More details, Dodgers.com/win. A lifetime experience to be able to hang out with that guy.
Sounds pretty cool. Facing Travis Shaw, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I'm going to enter. Because if I win, I'm going to get the kid of my choice. Won't be anybody in my family. It'll be somebody off of Twitter, probably.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to donate and enter. That would be great. I actually registered for the Kirk Gibson seats out in right field. And I got them. And I'm going to put those on the Twitter account later in the year.
I suppose we should follow you then. 1 and 2.
I don't know how we're going to get somebody to do that. You're going to have to teach me how to get somebody to
follow you?
How to pick the winner when I decide to put them up on Twitter. It was funny because I used kind of a semi-fake name to register. I didn't want them to think, oh yeah, we'll make sure Orel gets them.
Yeah, didn't want it to happen just because you.
And I used your credit card.
Here's a grounder right side that could be 2. Turner to Seager. Shaw able to beat it out. A fielder's choice, 1 away.
Just wanted to be completely incognito.
Yeah, they were really thrown off when they saw a crazy name with my credit card. They think, why is Joe making up a name? Why Gibson seats? Little did they know. 1 on, 1 out, and Orlando Arcia to the plate. Against Clayton Kershaw, who has done so much, not just the greatest pitcher of this generation, statistically, as far as earned run average, greatest pitcher ever, but along with his wife Ellen, have done so much off of the field. To the bottom of the zone for a strike on Arcia. It all started with Ellen. She's made a dozen trips to Zambia since she was in middle school. First inspired watching Oprah specials about orphans in Zambia. And so that inspired her to go for the first time. Bunch of trips after that before she got Clayton involved. Clayton made his first trip a few weeks after their wedding in 2010 and spent his first day there mixing cement to build classrooms at a new school. Spent all day doing that, then went out behind the complex to get his workout in. And by the time that workout was finished, all the kids from the village had come over to watch him just on this dirt road off behind the school they were putting up. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1 and 2 on Arcia. Clayton had thought ahead. He shipped a big blue tarp to Zambia to have there to be able to pitch into. And so he's doing his workouts with that as his catcher. But it turned into a thing where he was teaching all these young kids that were watching him how to throw, how to catch, how to play baseball. And that became something they did every night. When they went back home, left the blue tarp so the kids would have one to pitch into themselves, and so he would have the tarp there for future visits, of which there have been several. The latest thing they've done is broken ground on their own school in Zambia for underprivileged children. That's a strikeout. Back-footing one to Arcia. They've already built 2 houses there for abused kids and for orphans. And it's not just in Zambia. It's in Dallas, where him and Ellen are from. It's in Los Angeles. It's in the Dominican Republic, where they spent a few days this offseason. So you know about Clayton Kershaw, the pitcher. one of the greatest ever to live. But Clayton Kershaw, the humanitarian, using his platform, that's as good as it gets as well. His first one to Brandon Woodruff is a strike, and it's 0-1. With Woodruff, this is no walk in the park. Homered against Clayton Kershaw in the National League Championship Series last year. And so far this year is 5 for 7. One and one.
He's not just a pitcher. He can swing the lumber. He rivals Bumgarner, the way he can swing it and the power that he has.
Kershaw ahead of him here, 1-2. That was the only lefty-lefty home run by a pitcher in postseason history. Little bit in with a curveball.
Not only do great receivers behind the plate and framers make the umpire think that pitches are strikes more often, they make their own pitcher think that they threw a strike.
Mark Ripperger back there today. That cuts in there to get Woodruff, and back-to-back strikeouts to finish the Brewers off in the second. Driving machine. Hurry into a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com for more details. Back in Milwaukee, Dodgers up 4-0 as they try to take 3 of 4 from the Milwaukee Brewers, and Brandon Woodruff goes back to the mound. Really no huge surprise that he's been as good of a hitter as he's been since reaching the majors. And everybody hit in high school, but he hit .618 as a high school senior and went to Mississippi State, one of the great baseball programs in the country, to be a two-way player. He went there as a pitcher and an outfielder, but went 2 for 19 at the plate as a freshman and never hit again there.
I'm sure he plays with the idea if pitching doesn't work out that he could play an everyday position.
The Rick Ankiel route.
With his size, he'd probably think about left field and the power, and also first base.
26 years old. He's in his 3rd year with Major League time now. Debuted with a handful of games 2 years ago. And then last year, split between the majors and the minors, mostly out of the bullpen, though. And won the 5th spot in the rotation this spring. Hernandez, Verdugo, and Barnes here in the 3rd. Ball 1. Dodgers already with 4 runs on 6 hits and 2 walks. Arcia. 1 out. And now Verdugo.
It's always nice to get runs early, but it's always nice to get runs early after you've been shut out. You don't get into those innings of, oh, here we go again, or lining out at people and not being able to set the table. You can't judge yesterday's offense at all in any way and come up with anything positive. A few walks, that was about it.
Did you play with jewelry? Did you have necklaces?
No, I'm not a big jewelry guy. Started wearing the championship ring as a broadcaster because fans wanted to see it. Television producers were very much, hey, get it on.
Yeah, they really had to yank your chain to get you to wear that, huh?
I was in a safe for a good 15 years. When did I start working for ESPN? Yeah. Been back here with the Dodgers, 5, and ESPN about 14. Yeah, so it was in a safe for 15 years. Now it's banged up a little bit.
Yeah, it gets used now.
Yep.
3-1. Just seems like it could be like Alex's chains here. They look great, but it seems like they like hit you in the face while you're running. And
hotel lobby the other day, I was like, look, speed's part of your game, and you keep adding to this jewelry. So that's really nice for fake gold. He goes, that's not fake. I go, okay, but the fake diamonds. He goes, those aren't fake either.
One out walk for Verdugo here.
But it's getting kind of heavy. He's like, I'm fine. I'm like, okay. Probably going to get a tooth chip, like you said, if it kind of comes up on him.
Right.
27 to the teeth.
About. Well, then he can take the tooth that he chips off and put it on a necklace. There's a video at Dodger Stadium we've mentioned before where they put a blindfold on the players and see if they can guess what they're feeling in a box. Strike one on Austin Barnes. One of the competitions is Verdugo against Kershaw to see who can faster determine what they're feeling. And the object is like a dinosaur skull head.
Yep.
And once Alex pulls it out of the box and sees what it is, his instinct is to say this would be a great necklace. That's flipped into short right field. Into the shadows goes Perez over the shoulder, puts it away. And Barnes is out number 2. That would really slow him down.
Yeah.
Big head.
Especially if he gold-plated it.
4-0, third inning. Woodruff trying to put up his first 0 of the day. Clayton Kershaw to the plate with a man at first and 2 out. One ball, no strikes. Kershaw talking the other day at pitcher's batting practice about how he's confident Ryu is going to hit one. He also said he thinks Julio Urias, if given enough opportunities, is going to hit one. Be a little harder to come by in the bullpen. Clayton has one of his own in his career. And said he would love to get a second. I'm going to give it a shot, he said, when the time is right. Hits plenty of them during batting practice.
He's got some really nice grain on that bat. Wide grain. That wood is hard. I used to pick wood that would have the ball fall in front of the outfielder. He's going for over the fence.
So you can tell how hard a bat is just by looking at it.
Yeah, the grain, a lot of times, first of all, you want the grains to be even, not to have a good growing season and then a slow growing season in the tree. And then you want them, usually the myth is, and I don't know, the bat makers nowadays can probably tell you, but the wider the grain, the fewer grains in the bat, the harder it is.
A pop-up. Arcia going to have to deal with the sunshine, but it looks like no problem. He'll put it away and send this game to the bottom of the third. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr., the new bacon truffle Angus burger with truffle-infused cheese sauce, only at Carl's Jr. And by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Test drive one today during the Jeep Spring Sales event. Back in Milwaukee, where the Dodgers have already gotten Clayton Kershaw 4 runs of support. One of the more remarkable stats going today. When the Dodgers get 4 runs or more of support for Clayton Kershaw, he's 110-1. And in the postseason, 105-0.
He's really good. And he gets out in front, and then he knows how to... what's up, buddy?
Just laughing at your groundbreaking
really
analysis there.
Oh, well, I wanted to preface why he's really good once he gets the lead. Yeah, we know he's a good pitcher, but he's very good at understanding what the hitter then is trying to do. A, get on base, so he attacks the strike zone, throws a lot of strikes. But once he then gets ahead, he knows how aggressive they are, and then he can walk them off the plate.
Lorenzo Cain leading off this third and taking a ball.
An interesting stat would be when he gets 4 runs, does he strike out more people? That would be an interesting stat to break down later in the year.
Because I often hear you talk about being a different pitcher as the game goes on, and especially in the middle innings, which are starting to approach. The situation of the game, the scoreboard dictating what you become.
Yeah, and Clayton's a strikeout pitcher, but I would believe when he gets more runs, he gets less strikeouts, that he would just keep attacking.
Yeah, pitch to contact, keep the game moving.
And he is so conscious of the pitch count now from when he was injured and coming back. He knew he would have a leash on him, and that took and put him into just a uber strike thrower. It was just like, I've got to at least go 7 for my team. I want to be out there as long as possible. They're paying me to pitch, not to watch. And so he was uber sensitive and just off the charts on strike 1, strike 2. And we watched him just beat himself up. He threw a ball.
Curve gets Kane flailing.
Breaking ball, you see the glove down the middle, but favoring the outside part of the plate. Kane waving at it.
We've seen the Dodgers go there several times against Kane in this series and gotten him to chase. As Yelich comes up, having walked his first time. The dribbler foul, strike 1. What a fun matchup this is. Clayton Kershaw against Christian Yelich.
They're fighting over who the best number 22 is.
How about they can settle for a tie? Kershaw's the best pitching 22, and Yelich maybe the best hitting 22 right now. That's outside 1-1. Well, Bellinger wears 35 and Trout wears 27, so he is definitely the best hitting 22. Two and 1. Borderline pitch that Kershaw really wanted. Yelich took it for ball 3.
Some kind of hitter that can take that pitch. Some kind of pitcher that can tease him with it.
And he's walked both times. It's 4 Kershaw walks today. Milwaukee's still looking for its first hit against him. 1-on-1 out for Braun.
The last Yelich at bat put him on a little bit of a spiral out of the strike zone. All of a sudden he wasn't attacking quite as much, but smart to pitch Yelich to the corners and the edges, but after that you need to attack this lineup.
Here it comes with his first one to Braun, perfectly placed. Strike 1. Braun grounded into a fielder's choice his first time and is 4 for his last 39. It's part of why you saw the reaction he did on his home run last night, looking up to the heavens as if to say, thank you, finally. Perfectly done with a slider, 0-2. Pitch count quite a bit higher than where it'd be ideally at this stage. Back-to-back sliders to get strikes 2 and 3. Sitting right in that sweet spot at 87 miles per hour to have the kind of characteristics on it he wants.
Started with the fastball away and then slider ties him up. tough to see right now, and especially tough to see when Clayton has that slider working. You've got the extra defender, which is the glare.
Runner at first, 2 out. Yasmani Grandal, who walked his first time. Upset with that ball 1. Good stop by Barnes. Yeah, last year the slider for Kershaw averaged 89 miles per hour. And it became too cutter-like. 87 is right about where he wants it. Not that he cares how hard it is specifically as far as the number. It's just that when it's at 87, that's when it tends to break the way that he wants. Strike 1-1.
I'm glad the slower one breaks the way he wants, because I like the differential between that and the fastball. And with his fastball averaging just a tick over 90 now, I think the 87, even down to 86 would be good.
Curve has him out in front, 1-2.
There's the change of speed, 73. Great rotation on this pitch.
Each of the last 4 outs have been on strikeouts for Kershaw. Coming inside with a 1-2. Grandal yanks a liner to left. It's caught by Peterson. That was a screamer that Jock was able to bring in. And Kershaw is through 3 with no hits against him.
Dave Roberts visits Fort Hood for a look at Jackie Robinson's life before the majors. Plus, the team celebrates the life of another Dodger legend, the great Don Newcombe. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday after the postgame on Sportsnet LA.
Top of the Dodge order coming up here in the 4th. They lead at 4-0. Jock Peterson to lead it off, and we look back at the way he started the game on StatCast AI, powered by AWS.
He absolutely blistered that ball. It didn't get very high off the ground, but he hit it hard enough, and the launch angle was up enough.
Followed that with a single and came in to score in the second. Dodgers have gotten 2 in the first and 2 in the second against Brandon Woodruff. Goes after the first one, hits a rising liner to right, and it's gone again. Jock Peterson's second home run of the day. And his 10th of the season, tying him with Cody Bellinger. Happy birthday, Jock.
Dave Roberts talks a lot about flight pattern, and when you hit the ball in the air to the pull side, not rolling over it. Jock out in front a little bit, but there's enough swing there for him to still get under the ball and elevate it out of here. That was a topspin non-lob.
Strike on Seager. You talked about his first inning home run not being very high. I think that one was even lower.
Yep.
Your updated Major League leaderboard. Peterson and Bellinger tied for the National League second spot behind Yelich. Tied for second across the majors, other than 2 on Seager. Curve, you said.
Yep. He was definitely out in front of him. The curve has gotten hit hard this year from Woodruff. I just feel like a lot of these Brewer pitchers need to work on getting their sharpest stuff over the plate. They seem to want to break the pitches. As we watch Corey Seager kind of get his head turned. Well, we see him break a lot of pitches off the plate, real sharp, but when they throw strikes, they seem to be more elevated and a little flatter.
Third K, 1 out. We talked about it earlier on this week. Seems like we've been here for a week, but it seems like Dallas Keuchel will be a great fit here, among other places. But it's a really good team, just with a rotation that could use a guy like that.
Mm-hmm.
Their budget is already extended to a point that it's never been. Most money they've ever spent, so you understand financially why it may be tough as Turner takes a strike. But forgetting about the money if you can for a minute, I guess don't we wish we could do that, all of us? It would be a great fit. Ball on a strike on Turner, who was grounded out and walked today. Craig Kimbrell still out there as well. Turner hits a fly ball to left center field, and way back at the wall, Lorenzo Cain brings it in. One of the game's best, takes away at least extra bases from Turner, who flirted with his first home run of the year.
Well, the reason this is not a home run is it's the deepest part of the ballpark. The reason it's an out is Lorenzo Cain. Boy, did he track this down, time his jump perfectly, and keep it in the glove. He knew there was going to be something to pay, and that was the wall and the punishment, and he got the out. That's a beauty.
Yeah, he is awesome out there. Bellinger with 2 out. Opening day, Lorenzo Cain saved the game with a home run robbery. For the final out, Jose Martinez of the St. Louis Cardinals. Big rip and a miss, 0-2.
With all the contact that has been removed from baseball around second base, taking out middle infielders, running into the catcher, the collision there. The biggest collisions in baseball are probably the outfielders and walls.
Mm-hmm. Strike 3 called, and the inning is over. But it begins, very first pitch, with Jock Peterson's second home run of the day.
2 on your birthday, and this second one is a beaut. Food Fest presented by Budweiser, going to downtown Los Angeles, April 26th through the 28th. You two are cracking me up. Visit MLB.com/foodfest to see. You're killing me. The full menu.
You want me to do it? Pulled pork, pierogi, hoagie, toasted grasshoppers, and the churro dog.
You missed a line.
I think we got the point. Fouled off by Aguilar. Kershaw's ahead of him 0-2.
Are we going to be in town for that? Check on that. I apologize for laughing through that one. The people at Budweiser are probably upset with me.
Dodgers are home during that.
Good. We got to go.
It's in the dirt, and 1-2 on Aguilar. And yeah, it's not just those 3 items that you keep reading. There are 27 other ballparks represented. Do we know for sure what the Dodger Stadium food is?
I think it was listed on the website. I guarantee it's not the pulled pork pierogi hoagie.
That's Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Grasshoppers from Seattle.
Wow, really?
Churro dog from Arizona.
Is it going to be the Dodger dog?
Curve hit on the ground to third for Justin Turner. The first out of the 4th. Sissick fries
from the Dodgers?
Uh-huh.
Wow. We're going to have some of those brought to the booth. Test them out.
Chef Ryan Evans does a great job. All the food at Dodger Stadium. One away here in the 4th. Hernan Perez comes to the plate. Milwaukee's had 4 base runners off of walks. Still no hits against Kershaw, but his pitch count is at 60 with just 1 out in the 4th. Perez fouls it back, 0-1. Wisconsin ultimate cheese fries. A submission from Miller Park. 0-2.
What a surprise.
All right. Where the Dodgers are headed down to Wrigley Field. Chicago dog. Try to get him to go after curve. Perez took it. Ball one.
It'd be a pretty good contest to not look on the internet, look at the menu and try and figure out,
just guess,
which food goes with which city.
Buried a slider to get him. It's the 5th K today for Kershaw and 2 gone in the 4th. Boy, he looks good, doesn't he?
He looks really good. And it's a little bit different style. He's not overpowering people, but I like the fact that he is using all sides of the plate, up and down, in and out, mixing his pitches to left-handers and right-handers. As your stuff kind of takes a little bit of a reversal as far as velocity. I don't think the sharpness is gone at all, but the velocity is a tick down. Everybody's talked about it. But you know what? He can win and be dominant with right here where he's at. Maybe it'll come back.
Velocity, you mean?
Yeah, but if it doesn't, this guy can win with this stuff, and he'll win in a big way. And I wouldn't put it past him for winning another Cy Young.
Ahead of Travis Shaw, 0-2.
Yes, stuff has made him great, but the number one thing that's made him great is his relentless pursuit for execution. And then being able to do it.
Shaw goes up the middle. Seager's behind the bag, and he throws him out. That's 4 no-hit innings for Clayton Kershaw. A 5-0 lead in Milwaukee. Sportsnet LA is by Jack in the Box. Come try Jack's $4.99 sourdough patty melt combo. Only at Jack in the Box for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. Well, the iconic corner of Ebbets Field in Brooklyn. The reason we show you that today is on this date in 1925, its namesake, Charles Ebbets, was laid to rest in Brooklyn. Buried 70 feet from the father of baseball, Henry Chadwick. It's Muncy leads off this 5th inning by bouncing the first one for Brandon Woodruff to Jesus Aguilar. 1 pitch and 1 out. Charles Ebbets first joined the organization when he was 23. And you hear about people working their way through the front office ladders these days, going from area scout to assistant scouting guy to director of scouting, maybe to assistant GM and then general manager. Well, Charles Ebbets began as a scorecard salesman when he was 23 years old. He climbed the ladder all the way up to become team president in 1898. One away for Kike Hernandez with the Dodgers in front of the Brewers 5-0. And strike one. Even managed for that season. Didn't do very well, so he went back into the executive role and thrived in that role. Outside 1-1. We had dreamt of getting a new stadium built in Brooklyn. Knew that that'd be important for the longevity of the organization there as he took over. And so slowly and quietly, he purchased 4.5 acres of land, 1 parcel at a time. 1 ball and 2 strikes. In an area of Brooklyn known as Pigtown, which was used more as a garbage dump than it was anything else. But it was adjacent to 9 separate trolley lines. And so it wasn't like he was randomly picking this area. He knew that it could be a special spot for people to be able to come access. An easy one for people to get to. Inside 2-2. Had a background working in architecture some in his early 20s. And so he had a very clear picture in his mind of what Ebbets Field would look like. And saw the shot coming back from break there ahead of its time with the concrete, the steel, the brick all incorporated into the design. Hernandez takes strike 3, 2 gone in the 5th. Are those 9 trolley lines that intersected right there where Ebbets Field eventually was put up. That's where you get the Dodger name from, Trolley Dodgers. The people taking the trolley to the ballpark and having to kind of play Frogger going to games.
Yeah.
Here's Verdugo. Alex 0 for 1, a strikeout or a flyout and a walk today. One ball, one strike.
You know, this is part of baseball education now in Milwaukee, kind of at the forefront, the way they work their scoreboard. They have the OPS up there.
Yeah, I was noticing that too.
That is really a neat way to start bringing in some of the analytics, some of the stats that fans are not used to.
I think, though, if you asked front office people, had them pick one statistic that's the best one to judge an offensive player, that's the one they'd point to.
Yep.
3 balls, 1 strike.
On base plus slug.
Yep. So really it's a representation of everything you want from a hitter. Power numbers and the bottom line ability to avoid outs. Full count on Verdugo.
And what in your mind is a positive one, big league average? Isn't it right around 800-ish?
800 would be pretty good. I want to say 720 would be league average. We'll double check that.
I know when I see 800, 850 in the thousands, it's like, oh my gosh, this guy's really good. Like right now, Bellinger's like 1,300.
Right, 1,000 is elite.
Yeah.
Verdugo muscles a one-hopper to Perez at second. And that's a 1-2-3 5th inning for Brandon Woodruff. The Major League average OPS 743. On Carl's cam, Clayton Kershaw putting together a heck of an afternoon. 4 innings for him. He's not given up a hit while he has issued 4 walks. Held the Brewers off of the board and the hits and the runs column, and gets strike 1 on Orlando Arcia.
He's been attacking. 1 more first pitch strike. 11 out of 16 prior to that. And no hits.
1 ball, 1 strike.
League last year hit 396 off him on first pitches. In the first outing, people were 2 for 5 on Cincinnati. So here, a little tougher on the Brewers on the first pitch today.
Continues to sprinkle in that curve effectively.
I just love the pitch mix he's had today. He's going to be upset with the walks. He's going to be fine with the 0 on the board as of right now. And I think he'll be fine with the strikeouts. He'll just definitely critique himself on the walks, but the pitch mix has been excellent.
Arcia muscling one down the line to right that is going to sink in for the first hit of the game. And the first hit will be a triple.
How talented you have to be to throw a no-hitter, and how fortunate you have to be. This is not the hardest hit ball today. That would be Yasmani Grandal, a line out to left. This just a little blooper down the right field line. Good for 270 feet.
And so the first hit comes to lead off this 5th inning. And because of those walks you were mentioning, the pitch count was going to keep Kershaw from having a real true chance at finishing this thing off, even if he had continued to put up zeros in the hit column. Already at 71. A man at third for the pitcher Woodruff. Strike 1. can think of one guy who took a little sigh of relief there.
Dave Roberts.
Yeah. Quickly 0-2.
Talking to Clayton on his game day compared to talking to him on another day are completely different. And David avoids a very awkward conversation.
A curve for his 6th strikeout of the day.
Pitch has great finish to it. You just see as it starts to look like it's a strike, and then it just continues down.
Third time through the order now. Lorenzo Cain coming up. You're talking about Kershaw's personality on game day versus the rest of the time. It seems like the rest of the time, because game day has not changed, the level of intensity is still 10 out of 10. Cain hits a high fly ball to left center field. Back to the wall. Gone. So the shutout gone with a 2-run home run from Cain here in the 5th.
And the Brewers' runs still keep going and coming on home runs. First pitch fastball up. Kind of inner half. Cain kind of bailed and wailed on it. Clayton had worked him to both sides of the plate in the first 2 at-bats.
And off the top of the wall for a home run and a strike here on Yelich.
Those are the kind he robs.
Yeah. 3rd of the season for Cain. Kershaw to Yelich with an 0-1. That's fouled, an 0-2 on a guy that he's walked twice. We'll just get back to that conversation about Kershaw's personality. It seems like the other 4 days of the week, he's having as much fun as he's ever had.
You know, probably at home playing with the kids now, and comes to the ballpark in a really good mood. Continues to play here.
What's that do for the rest of the clubhouse when your star player, your franchise icon, can be seen having a smile and loving being around every day?
It keeps it a lot looser, and people are free to be themselves. They lead by example, the big time guys, and Clayton is definitely that.
Yelich chops it to first. They get him out. Not easy to do these days. 2 gone. And here's Braun.
Ryan, part of the home run parade yesterday as the Dodgers pitched around Yelich, intentionally walked him, and Ryan Braun made him pay. But the way Yelich has been swinging the bat, you cannot second guess that move at all.
Braun shoots one the other way. Bellinger over to grab it and retire the side. Brewers get on the board. They get their first hit of the game with a triple. They get their first runs on the Cain homer.
Los Angeles up 5-2. Barnes getting set to lead off, and an update for you guys on Russell Martin. He's going to go to Chicago with the team. He's going to catch some bullpens there and then participate in a simulated game on Friday in LA. No rehab assignment looks to be necessary at this point. I know that he was pretty adamant he didn't want to. They feel the simulated game will be enough. He'll likely be activated during the Pittsburgh series this weekend. Rich Hill will also go with the team today to Chicago, then get to Arizona for his last rehab start. He, too, should be activated in Los Angeles against Pittsburgh this weekend.
Okay, Alana, thank you for the updates. As Austin Barnes leads off the 6th inning against Brandon Woodruff. First Milwaukee starter to pitch into the 6th in this 4-game series. Who would have thought it after he gave up the 2 in the first and 2 in the second. It's a ground ball to Aguilar, who feeds Woodruff. 1 gone.
On Tuesday, May 7th, we're offering $1 Dodger dogs to all fans in attendance, courtesy of DraftKings, the game inside the game. Buy up to 5 Dodger dogs per person per transaction. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Donnie Hart, Max Muncy's old Little League teammate, down there warming up. Jacob Barnes getting going as well. No action in the Dodger pen yet as Clayton Kershaw hits for himself here in the 6th and takes a strike. Dodgers getting ready to head down to Chicago. Always a fun series when the Dodgers and Cubs get together. Cubs had ripped off 4 or 5 consecutive wins and then got shut out yesterday 6-0. And they're getting shut out again today. Bottom of the 6th and no score in the final game between Arizona and Chicago. Robbie Ray holding them off of the board. And for the Cubs, it's been Tyler Chatwood. 6 shutout innings, only 2 hits allowed. Slash foul, 2-2 on Kershaw. Chris Bryant is hitting .230. Anthony Rizzo's hitting .200. Bryant just 1 extra base hit, or just 1 home run. A lot of the other guys, though, have gotten it going offensively. Wilson Contreras, very hot start to the season. Javi Baez, same thing. Some guys you don't expect necessarily to be big hitters, like Dan Descalso, having a good start too. Kershaw down on strikes, 2 away in the 6th. And our top tier play today brought to you by Arco. Jock Peterson providing them.
Couple of home runs and a base hit here for the birthday boy. And kind of a rarity. Jock, second home run was on a curveball. That's his second home run this year on a breaking ball. All of 2017 and all of 2018, only 2 home runs on curveballs. This year in 19, already has 2 on curveballs.
Yeah, Craig Counsell not going to let Brandon Woodruff face him again. He'll go to the bullpen in a 5-2 game in the 6th. We'll be back in a moment. It's the Dodgers and pitch to Stinning. And he's on here with a couple of left-handers due up for L.A.
Well, he can really land his off-speed stuff. You've got to be ready for the changeup and the breaking ball. And, of course, just kind of an optical illusion out there, mystifying with his mechanics and how deceptive he is. Kind of jumps at the hitter, hides the ball really well. And, you know, his unique delivery is one of his major assets as a big leaguer.
Dave Roberts will let Jock Peterson hit for himself here, even with the left-hander brought on. If there's ever a day where he's earned it, it'd be today with the 2 home runs. And overall 3 for 3 for a guy who came into the day 1 for his last 12. So 27 years old today. Showed that picture earlier of Jock as a toddler holding the bat. His older brother Tiger was playing t-ball. His mom Shelly was coaching, and they put Jock off to the side in the little kids area, but he kept on trying to climb the fence and get involved with the older kids. And he wasn't old enough technically to play yet. They eventually let him, and it wasn't long before he was dominating. Son of a former pro ball player, Stu Peterson. A very good athlete herself, Shelly. That's jammed past Hart. Still a chance on the left side, but they're not going to get it. We'll see how this is ruled, but Peterson is aboard for the 4th time. Should be a hit, right?
I think it will be. See Hart's attempt right here. Looks like it doesn't touch the leather. It hits the seam maybe of the mound and darts underneath the glove. After that, pretty clear sailing.
And it is a hit, and so a 4-for-4 day for Jock Peterson.
That is a birthday present.
Yes.
I don't know if it was wrapped completely.
Bought himself a couple with the home runs, but yeah, that one was gifted to him. Seager takes the ball. Between Peterson and Seager at the top 2 of the order, the Dodgers are 6 for 7. And they've scored 5 runs, all 5 of them. Seager's got a pair of doubles. Here on a 1-0 pitch from Hart. Swings and misses, 1-1. Ouch.
Come back from elbow surgery, come back from hip surgery. Now I hit one off my foot. This is a tough game. Oh, it's not. It's like off his calf.
This guy's finding ways to get hit by balls in just the most random spots. Front calf. Remember back, groin, and hamstring a couple weeks ago. One ball, 2 strikes. Hart to Seager. Able to lay off. Count evens up. Grounds his 3rd hit of the day into right. Peterson hustling for 3rd. He'll get there. And they've got him cornered with 2 out.
Corey reaches out and just wraps this one over to the right side. But the only way you're going to have that kind of extension and plate coverage is if your upper body's in the correct proportion and posture. And when you think about Corey Seager and the left-on-left confrontations and how well they stay in there. Verdugo, Muncy, Bellinger, Seager. It's amazing how the Dodger left-handers are really good in the left-on-left situation.
Brewers got 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th on the Kane home run, and the Dodgers trying to quickly take them back. 2 on, 2 out for Turner. Oh, flies it to right center field. Kane back to the warning track, and he's just missed on the last 2, with Kane catching it against the wall on Turner's last swing and then going to the track to get that one.
For his 6th frame of time now for the T-Mobile connection to the game as we look forward to the next series, still against the NL Central. A much-needed off day tomorrow. But as far as the pitching rotation is concerned, on Tuesday it's Kenta Maeda with an extra day of rest, looking for his 4th win of the season versus Jose Quintana. Then on Wednesday it's Walker Buehler, still undefeated on the year against Cole Hamels, also undefeated with a .277 earned run average. And on Thursday, Ross Stripling in what is likely his last start before Rich Hill returns to the rotation, guys.
All right. Hi, Possum. And Walker. Dodgers in front 5-2 in this one. Trying to take 3 of 4 from Milwaukee. Yasmani Grandal leads off this inning against Kershaw and takes a strike. Brewers went the first 4 innings today without a hit. And they got a triple from Arcia and a homer from Kane last inning. Other than 2. One, 2. Randall climbs the ladder, pops it up. Bellinger didn't look like found it at first, now does. And Yasmani is 0 for his last 14.
Win a Lexus ES300 Hybrid this Sunday at Morongo. Good times.
1 away in the 6th. Up comes Jesus Aguilar. Clayton Kershaw continues to climb the all-time charts in Dodger history. He's moved into 2nd all-time in strikeouts today, passing Don Drysdale in that category. This is with his first one to Aguilar. He's 4th in wins. If this score holds, he'll move to within 2 wins of 3rd place. It'd be his 154th. Next on the list, Sandy Koufax, 156. It's also closing in on Sandy for innings pitched. Ranked 7th right now in that category, within 10 innings of Sandy. And then regardless of franchise, among pitchers with 2,000 innings pitched, his 239 earned run average, number 1. Baseball history. Aguilar with Hernandez making the play. And Jesus right now living a tough life. 2 gone in the 6th.
Beginning Clayton's career, he was honored to be mentioned with the Drysdales and the Koufaxes and the others. And then the mid-career, he was kind of always on those lists. Someday in the future, and even currently, he's going to be the name on the list that everybody's honored to have on the list and to be there with him.
Hernan Perez with 2 gone. Looks at a curve low. And for Sandy and for Don Sutton and those other guys on the list, it's probably a nice reminder to them how great they were when they see Kershaw's name next to theirs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Six Ks today for Kershaw. He's walked 4. Only giving up the 2 runs on 2 hits. He fires 1-1 and a curve falls in for strike 2. The sequencing has just been so unpredictable today. Got him with that slider at 86. That's strikeout number 7 for Kershaw, finishing off an 11-pitch 6. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. Part of the Dodger lineup coming up on this perfect Easter Sunday in Milwaukee. Cody Bellinger against Donnie Hart. A couple of RBI singles already today for Cody, and he takes strike 1. Now it's a Brewers team in 2nd place in the Central right now. Game back of the Pittsburgh Pirates, sitting at 13-10. High hopes this season after winning the division last year. I think part of what made them so good last year, I don't think, it's kind of obvious, is that bullpen. It was getting borderline super pen last year. It wasn't just Josh Hader. You had Jeffress and Knebel and some other pieces that have since moved into the rotation. The offense last year, while Yelich won the MVP, it was just about league average when you're looking at runs per game. The rotation didn't have to be great because they worked back to front. They got a lot of outs from that pen we mentioned. that is outside and ball 3 on Bellinger. As you're looking at the Brewers at this point, and it's only 20 so games into the season, but the pen is not the same. And because of that, the rotation is getting exposed a little bit more. And what was enough from the offense, more often than not these last few days, it hasn't been enough. Bellinger starts his 7th inning with a walk.
It feels like they've taken a big step back.
Big step.
And when you watch the two teams, you think back to the playoffs and the confrontation of these, and it was a nail biter. And it just feels like the Dodgers have taken a step forward, and the Brewers have not taken the same step back, but a bigger step back.
Here's Muncy facing his old Little League teammate Donnie Hart, taking strike 1. So you think big step back?
It feels that way in watching them for these 4 games. I mean, not the fact that Dodgers might win 3 out of 4, but it just feels like it's a big step back. Offense doesn't seem like it's in the same place, and you said it was average. It felt bigger than that last year. And then with the bullpen,
I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, oh, it is. It definitely is. And that's rare to say, you know, the bullpen is that big a piece that it's going to really take, 10 or 15 wins off their total possibly. I think it could.
It was so good that it covered up any other deficiencies. The rotation was pretty good, but not great. Rotation's been not very good so far this year. And I think the offense right around the same area. Hit a lot of home runs. They're scary. But bottom line, they're about league average when you're looking at run production.
The impact of a bullpen doing well or doing poorly on a team has accentuated through the change in the culture in baseball, because they're pitching more innings and they're called upon more often in high leverage situations where you don't trust the starter. You go to a piece in the pen. And I think with them moving from a super pen to a pen that's under the weather right now and not performing, it's a big step.
Once he slaps it and stays alive at 2-2.
Most good teams that turn into championship teams, you can finish off a team with adding a piece in the bullpen or getting that closer that moves from a 82% closing rate to a 96% closing rate. And all of a sudden, those 6 or 7 extra wins at the end of the year make you a championship team. Or you get the bridge to your closer. But with this team, with the Brewers, as big of an impact that bullpen had last year.
It's one of those things where you get them a little bit, get them a few runs like they were doing. They're averaging about 4.5 runs per game last year, but you get them a few. You get enough starting pitching to hand the ball off to the bullpen, and you're probably going to win. Now, you can have those other 2 parts of the equation, get a few runs, get an okay start, hand it off to the pen, but you don't necessarily know what you're getting outside of Josh Hader this year. Knebel, Tommy John surgery. Jeffress started the season on the IL. This stuff hasn't been the same since coming back. He was dominant. He was an all-star last year. And then guys like Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, they're in the rotation now. Burns has been sent down, but they started the season in the rotation, whereas in the back half of last season, they were key pieces of the shutdown pen. And they've not been nearly as good as starters as they were coming out of the pen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Muncy flips it into right center. It looks like Clayton Kershaw's day may be coming to an end after 6 innings. Dave Roberts a moment ago chatting with him.
It was a good day for Clayton. Only the second start of 2019. It was a little cleaner in his first start, but this one he battled and put himself in line and the Dodgers in line for a win.
Penn will need to cover 3 innings today. 1-on-1 out, Kike Hernandez, 0 for 3 this afternoon, takes ball 1. And as the starts have gotten longer, the bullpen has gotten better.
And this could be, what, 7 out of 8 as far as win total, and that hot streak would be something where the Pens' innings have been cut in half.
Yeah. Bellinger takes off, throw from Grandal, well done to cut him down.
Now, Dodger fans have seen this guy throw the baseball, and it is a repeat right here. Cody Bellinger, one of the faster guys in the league, but Yasmani, he turns early, receives it cleanly, exchanges it to the strong arm, and then it's very accurate. Perfect.
Ball 3 on Kike.
Just to button up the Brewers, you know, with Keuchel out there and with Kimbrel out there, they almost need them both. With the track record so far here early in the season.
4-pitch walk for Hernandez. They may need them both, but it may be impossible even to get one, just budgetary reasons.
Maybe they don't move on one or the other because do they really think this team's got a chance, you know, to go that much further?
Yeah, I think that you are more down on the Brewers than they are about themselves. I think that they still consider themselves the favorite in the division. Runner at first with 2 gone. Verdugo's the hitter and takes a strike. One interesting thing to see is going to be at the deadline this year. It doesn't look like there's going to be many really great pieces that'll be traded. Bumgarner's a name that frequently comes up, but he may be the best starting pitcher that moves, and he's not been that great the last couple of years as he's dealt with injuries. He's been good. It's not exceptional. It's fly out to right. The Yelich puts away. We stretch in Milwaukee with the Dodgers in front 5-2, trying to take 3 of 4 from the Brewers. For Dave Roberts on this afternoon is Scott Alexander. For the bottom part of the Brewers order, the left-handed batting Travis Shaw. Here it comes. On the corner for a strike.
Scotty has been outstanding this year, and really it relates to that last pitch. First pitch strikes. Instead of going ball 1 down by the shin, which ended up last year sending him to the minors to kind of straighten things out, he has really started attacking hitters about knee high or even slightly above, and then expanding the strike zone down.
Tied him up with that next one. He's ahead of Shaw, 0-2. Dodgers in front 5-2 in the 7th as he strikes Shaw out on 3 pitches.
A strikeout there by Alexander, and Clayton Kershaw with his outstanding outing had 7 of those. His strikeouts all came on breaking balls, and we have known for a while that Clayton throws a higher percentage of breaking stuff than fastballs. But today, the difference for me was just varying the locations. And for Clayton, when you're going to vary locations, it's probably going to mean outside to right-handed hitters is going to add that extra layer of I don't know where he's going.
It's ball 1 on Arcia. Recorded the first hit of the day against Kershaw. Triple, and came in to score on Kane's homer. Soft tapper along third. They'll hope that it stays foul, and it does. So you have Milwaukee finishing what in the Central?
I think somewhere right around third. We'll see, and unless they all of a sudden change. We're going to get a better look at the Cubs here starting on Tuesday. We've already seen the Cardinals, and they look tough. Pirates are leading the division.
How about that?
Kind of a surprise. And for me, it looks like the Brewers have taken a step back. They still have to play the games, though.
2-1. And then there's the Reds, who a lot of people looked at as like a dark horse to make a little bit of noise, but not been the case. Bouncing ball deep in the hole. Seager heaves a throw across, but no chance to get Arcia.
Corey has no chance. The thing I do like that gives me a lot of confidence in how he's feeling is he just attempted this throw. He could have just kind of walked this ball over towards the third baseline after gloving it and saying, all right, that's an infield hit. But for him to take the risk on the throw, it shows me that his arm's fine and his head is clear.
1-on-1 out, 7th inning with the pitcher's spot up. They send Manny Pena to the plate to pinch hit. Had a good day yesterday. Entered the day with 2 hits on the season and then got 2 hits last night. And gets hit by this pitch. Just like that, the Brewers have the tying run coming to the plate in the form of Lorenzo Cain.
Well, if you're going to bring the tying run to the plate, the next 2 hitters you want up are the ones that are in the batting order.
It was Cain's 2-run shot in the 5th that got the Brewers on the board.
The lighting now for the hitters is a lot better. It means the execution has to be a lot higher on the mound.
Cain takes ball 1. Stirring down in that Dodger bullpen. It's gone from stirring to hurrying for Pedro Baez. Bouncing ball to third, to second, 1, to first, a double play. Scott Alexander induces a 5-4-3 double play, and what felt like a mounting rally for the Brewers ends quietly. Where the Dodgers have a 5 on the Brewers. Hope you're having a great Easter Sunday. It's a beautiful day here. Hope it is wherever you are too. The Dodgers trying to win 3 of 4 from Milwaukee, and what a start that would be to this road trip.
Yeah, great. And then going down to Chicago, the Cubs are starting to get hot. It'd be another like playoff confrontation. You know, it's a great day here. It was a beautiful, sunshiny day. It was the warmest day we've had. Clayton Kershaw on the mound and early offense. It has gone very, very well for the Dodgers here on this Easter Sunday.
Jacob Barnes, the newest pitcher for Milwaukee. 8th inning, trying to add on, and Brewers showed you why it'd be nice to do so. Making things very interesting before the double play finished the bottom of the 7th. That's a strike on Barnes from Barnes. Chris Taylor in the pitcher's spot, and the order is on deck. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the 4th today for LA, with the Brewers getting the 2-run shot from Lorenzo Cain in the 5th. Barnes ahead, 2-1. A little funk going for Austin right now. He's 1 for his last 22. Good pitch, 2-2. On Riverside zone, Austin Barnes. Early years in Rancho Cucamonga. His family moved to Riverside when he was 8. Kind of a Little League legend there. He's always one of the smaller kids, but nothing would get by him. His nickname was Hoover. Play in the middle infield, mostly shortstop. He was tiny and he wore glasses. So he'd be that kid where you'd look at him and think, he's not much. But then he'd dominate. What percentage of big leaguers do you think played shortstop as young kids?
Probably 95%.
Wow. Knew it'd be high.
I'm just guessing, but I'm right there. And I would say even some left-handers.
Fouled off. 95%.
It's high. I could go 80, but I was trying to make a point. I think they pitched and played short.
Yeah, don't let the truth get in the way of a good point.
They could pitch and catch, pitch and play first. But after that, I'd say
pitch and short.
Pitch and short would be the number one.
I think 80% sounds like an aggressively safe guess.
Okay.
Barnes really making him work here.
Am I going to get graded on this or just evaluated by?
We'll make our producer Mike Levy poll every player in the majors to see if they played short, and we'll see what the answer is.
Give him like a couple days.
He says he'll have it by the 9th.
That'll be good.
Ninth pitch here. Another foul ball.
Did you have a Little League career? What position did you play?
Short.
Okay. See, you're a big leaguer. You made it.
It quite works that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the other way around.
Oh,
yeah. The 10th pitch from Jacob Barnes to Austin Barnes gets him swinging for out number 1.
Celebrate Corey Seager on May 9th when the Dodgers open a 4-game series with the Washington Nationals. Be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance and receive a Corey Seager bobblehead, courtesy of Security Benefit. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
One gone for Taylor. There have been many people who have said Corey Seager would have to move off shortstop eventually. Even the day he was drafted on MLB Network, they said, I think, even though he's first rounder as shortstop, he probably projects as a third baseman. But he's gone about proving those doubters wrong thus far and converting a lot of the people, I think, that thought that he was too big, too cumbersome to stick there. Especially with this new physique of his.
A lot of adjustments he's had to make to having a healthy hip and a healthy elbow and change in his body type. The leaner, meaner.
1-2 on Taylor, and it's not something that went in one ear and out the other with Corey. When you heard people saying that he wouldn't stick at shortstop, he took that personally. Shortstop is part of his identity. One and two. There have only been 4 shortstops in Major League history at 6'4" or taller to start more than 60 games in a season. And 2 of them are currently doing it. Seager and Carlos Correa. Cal Ripken Jr., Andy Fox are the other 2. 2 and 2.
Alex Rodriguez must be just a smidge under that.
Listed at 6'3". And before 2015, there'd never been a season with more than 3 full-time shortstops that stood 6'3" or taller. There were 4 in 15. There were 5 in 16. That equaled the total that we'd seen over the previous 75 years. Taylor can't lay off, and he's out number 2. What a birthday it's been for Jock Peterson, who comes up 4 for 4, and we go down to Alana.
2 singles and 2 home runs for Jock Peterson on his 27th birthday. And guys, he's only the 3rd player since 1908 with 4 hits and 2 home runs on his name day, if you're a Game of Thrones fan. Kirk Gibson did it back in 1995 as a member, of course, of the Tigers against the Chicago White Sox. And Joe Morgan back in 1983 as a member of the Phillies against the Cubs.
One of the 3 best birthdays celebrated by a major leaguer ever. And again, Jock came in scuffling a little bit. 1 for 12. 2 homers, 2 singles today. Both home runs, absolute rockets. And now looking to celebrate 27th birthday with his first career 5-hit game. Strike, 1-1.
Fans are probably surprised to hear Alana's stat on Kirk Gibson being 1995 being a Tiger. He was a Tiger in 1995, and I forgot that he went back to Detroit after leaving L.A. and playing for Kansas City and Pittsburgh. Last 3 years of his career he spent back in Detroit.
Michigan guy, went to Michigan State.
Yep.
Played football.
Great football player. Played baseball with a football mentality.
Whole career.
He was a gamer, and he made everybody around him a gamer. Kirk Gibson was the Chase Utley impact of the 80s for the Dodgers. Two and two. So if he hits a home run here, best birthday name day ever.
Yeah. He's never had a 5-hit game. He's never had a 3-homer game. Wonder if there's ever been a 3-homer game on a birthday.
Mike Levy will look that up.
He's busy with something else right now. Polling every player in the majors. See if they played shortstop when they're in diapers. A 2-2 and strike three. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers in front 5-2. To check into studio for Access Sportsnet Dodgers.
Guys, it's 6 quality starts for the last 8 Dodger pitchers. What a day for Clayton Kershaw.
Kersh was on. Jock Pop, what a day.
Great birthday day for Jack. Tough to beat that one.
We have you for everything post-game. See you after the game. Back to you, Joe.
Okay, Allie, 5-2 game here as Chris Taylor stays in and plays left. Jock Peterson's birthday, at least on the field, coming to an end. It was Alexander for the 7th. It'll be Baez for the 8th.
Strikeout to walk ratio is outstanding for Pedro. Just kind of avoid the home run ball, but he's doing that better this year, and I think he'll do it very well the rest of his career because he's mixing his pitches.
And he is right at the top of Dave Roberts' list right now as far as trust level. And proof of that, here's the man he's brought on to face. Part of the order he's brought on to face. Yelich, Braun, and Grandal in a 5-2 game. 1 ball, no strikes.
You're right about Pedro Baez. You know, the moment he gets on a hot streak or looks like himself, he gets the high leverage situations. And I think that just should be an upgrade on his stats.
Fly ball to right center field. Bellinger to the track, to the wall. He leaps and makes the catch. Is there anything Bellinger can't do? Robbing Christian Yelich.
These two with their fast starts in 2019. Yelich with the MVP last year. Bellinger with the start of 2019 in the MVP conversation already. And they are starting to become friends when they're at first base and Bellinger's there. When they're in the outfield warming up before the game, they've been caught conversing. And now robbing his new buddy of a dinger.
And you know there's some added satisfaction to that, and that it is Yelich that he took that from. 1 out, Ryan Braun, ball 1.
There will be an exchange of texts after the game.
Is that the plural word for
I don't
text?
know. That's
just
text. Text? All right.
Text.
Thank you. I'll get it later.
Tomorrow you'll be ready.
Text me a few things.
Well, that's easy. Fouled off 1-1. That's just T-E-X-T, text, right name. Oh, send me some.
Oh, text. Texas.
No. Send me some.
Text.
Yeah, there.
You got it. Bowling Green education.
Elevated fastball has him swinging and missing 1 and 2.
It's one way to avoid a home run is to have a really good guy out there to catch them when they're barely over the fence. He can run, he can hit for power, he's going to hit for average.
He can jump,
steal bases, he can jump. Design a player.
Yes.
Be an interesting topic, you know. Designing the best video game players. Pick your top 5 video game players in baseball. Cody Bellinger's in that conversation.
Starting to be for sure.
He's in the conversation. Mike Trout's in the conversation. Giancarlo Stanton doesn't probably run well enough to be that in there.
Skipping right over Mookie Betts. Huh?
Mookie Betts.
You know, a lot of times on these plays, it's like, okay, incredible play, but would have it been gone? That one would have been gone.
Yep.
Was it a true robbery? That was a true robbery. Can't feel too bad for him. Braun chops it deep at third. Turner heaving it across the diamond, but wide of the bag. Braun still runs really well. And it's a 1 out infield single.
That's a great try from Justin. You're running away from first base and you're throwing immediately without looking because you have to keep some leverage to get the ball over there. So you keep your upper body kind of twisted away before you get your arm cocked so you can use that twisting motion. But to do that, you can't see where the bag is. So you take a shot.
Brewers trying to make it interesting again, like they did in the 7th against Alexander when they brought the tying run to the plate. Able to get out of it by getting Kane to ground into a double play. And now it's Grandal with a man at first and 1 out. 5-2 in the 8th. Baez delivers and gets strike 1. Oh for his last 14. 0-2. There's Kenley Jansen.
With an off day tomorrow, not afraid to use him for 4 outs.
Staying up with a fastball. Grandal tomahawks a base hit into right center, and for the second time in as many innings against the Dodger pen, the Brewers bring the tying run up there.
Bellinger's catch now looms really large.
And it's Aguilar coming up. I don't know about you, but as slow as the start has been for Aguilar, I'm ready to get out of here before he figures it out, because you know he's going to at some point. This guy hit 35 home runs last year.
His second at bat, he lined out to left. It was his last at bat. He lined out to second.
Yeah.
He really stayed on that ball well. And he probably feels a little snake bit right now, so he's coming up there with an attitude.
The 28-year-old who broke onto the scene last year. Otherwise, mostly a minor leaguer for the first 9 years as a pro. Tying run up there. One gone in the 8th. Baez to Aguilar. With a fastball high, it's 1-0. Seminal moment in Jesus Aguilar's career last April, before he had really established himself as a big-time player. Came in as a pinch hitter late in the game against Junichi Tazawa of the Marlins. And got into an 0-2 hole and a tie game in the 9th before working a 13-pitch battle and finishing it with a walk-off home run 7 minutes after the at-bat began. So that was the moment where he really knew that he belonged. Took his confidence to a new level. Rode that confidence to the All-Star season. Right now he's searching to find it again.
Couple of guys battling right here that don't mind taking their time. They will play when it feels right to them.
The 1-0 and the dirt ball 2.
Hoover blocked that one nicely.
Yeah.
Those are not the easiest. Ball takes a wicket carom.
Rick Honeycutt on the phone down to the bullpen where you saw Kenley Jansen loosening. And as Orel mentioned, with the off day tomorrow, they'll be more aggressive in bringing him in. 2 balls, no strikes. Baez comes home and Aguilar gets under it. Whew. Infield fly rule 2 gone.
Pedro fell behind with a fastball up and in, 1-0, but it was right in the right spot. Then he spiked the breaking ball that Austin had to block, but he came back with another high quality fastball right there to get that pop-up.
Eric Thames announces the pinch hitter. Here comes Dave Roberts. And with a big man up there representing the tying run, he'll go from Baez to Jansen, looking for a 4-out save. Jansen comes on, asked to get 4 outs for the second time this year. Did it on April 6th at Colorado successfully.
Kenley's velocity is starting to trend upwards. That's a good thing. He's found some things mechanically. I think he's gaining a little confidence in those mechanics. And when you feel that rhythm and it's there, you can go at it a little bit more aggressively. Seems seems like sometimes with his fastball that, of course, is his cutter, he's staying behind it a little bit more, and you're seeing that uptick in velocity also.
Well, it seems like these teams always play tight games, doesn't it? Yesterday being the exception with a Braun home run breaking it open. But it seems like the game hangs by a thread longer and more frequently when these two teams are together than usual. Eric Thames representing the tying run in the last of the 8th. Kenley Jansen, a perfect 7 for 7 in save opportunities this year, comes home and misses ball 1. Thames hit a home run earlier in this series. On 1-0. Takes a strike, 1-1. Two on, two out. Runners go on a ball outside. It's 2-1 on Thames. Not paying much attention to him there.
Well, the game changes with a home run, of course. Now it changes with a base hit. Base hit, you're only down by 1, and you've got 4 outs on offense left. Been staying away from him so far. These 4-game series, the relationship, the short-term relationship changes because there's a lot more information, and now all of a sudden you see how they're pitching you or how you're getting people out. Those adjustments come a little easier. And you see it right here, even with Austin Barnes and Kenley not on the same page, because sometimes it's like, all right, we didn't want this guy to extend his arms, but, you know, last night we went to get in on him and he was able to pull his hands in and hit it out of here. So where are we going to go? Maybe use the other side of the plate. So the long-term data says one thing. The short-term results and the approach of the hitter or the pitcher might change.
Here comes the 2-1. He hesitates. And a soft ground ball foul, 2-2.
Stays away right there. That cutter's having a tendency to cut out there. First one kind of tailed away from him. Maybe he got away from his arm side, but those last few, he's touching that outside corner with some nice bite.
Here's a 2-2. Did he go? No swing. Full count. Pretty clearly laid off.
Those arms are strong enough to hold it back.
Yeah, that's for sure. Most of the folks here standing. Tying run at the plate. 2 gone, 8th inning. 3-2 pitch. High drive to center. That ball ties this game.
Going up and away. It ended up kind of down the middle, outer half, and he did get to extend his arms, and boy, he hit that ball a long way. He's running hard, but I think he knows he got it.
Strike one on Travis Shaw. So the Brewers have scored 5 straight to tie this game, and Josh Hader now loosening for the 9th. Now they've been 2. All 14 runs the Brewers have scored in this series have come off of homers. For Kenley Jansen, he's allowed at least 1 run in 5 of his last 6 outings. Shaw with a pop-up. The wind whipping it around as Turner catches it and sends this game to the 9th. It's a new game after the home run from Thames. Tied at 5 to the 9th. Craig Counsell calls on Josh Hader, his first outing since Hernandez got him with a tie-breaking home run Friday night.
Kenley Jansen's hair was blowing around. Now Hader's is really blowing around. The wind is a big factor in this game right now, not only on pop-ups, but fly balls in certain directions might get a little help.
And typically they say that it's not until they open the back windows that it really changes how well the ball flies, but you're right. I mean, you just look down there at the shirts and the hair and the way that it's swirling and the pop-up on Turner. It's definitely playing a role right now. Hader not just because the game is tied, but because of the part of the order that's coming up. Seager, Turner, and Bellinger in a 5-5 game in the 9th. Season series tied at 3 games apiece. The game tied at 5 runs apiece as Hader delivers to Seager. Strike one. Quickly 0-2. Seager's had a good day. He's 3 for 4 with a pair of doubles, a couple of runs scored, drove in a run as well. One and two.
As virtual reality improves, this would be something you would not want to attempt. Watching Hader from a batter's box, virtual reality, I think you'd still jump back.
Wow. Turner to the plate. We go down to Alana.
Guys, Justin Turner in particular said that the way that you face Hader as far as an approach at the plate is not to do too much. He provides the power. Some guys tend to try to overswing when they're facing him to try to catch up to that tricky fastball. Dave Roberts said the same thing. Kike said just a David Freese approach and Cody Bellinger's bat.
That's fouled in strike one, and of course it worked for Kike with the game-winning home run the other night. In the case of Turner, he's had a couple nice swings his last 2 times up. Just missing a home run in the 4th and then hitting it to the warning track in the 6th. Hernandez's spot doesn't come up for a few. Hader to Turner with the 0-1. Generous strike, 0-2.
This ball is low. Never was a strike.
Back-to-back Ks, 2 out. And so with the bases empty and 2 gone, it's Hader against Bellinger. But they brought Hader on for Bellinger 2 nights ago and was able to strike him out, but it took him 7 pitches to do it. Dodgers perhaps wore him down with that being part of the effort before Hernandez got him. Slider at the knees, strike 1.
Without Cody's catch, he'd be up there as the last chance for the Dodgers.
Robbing Christian Yelich of a home run against Baez last inning. Fouled off 0-2. Eight, 9, and 1 coming up for the Brewers in the bottom of the 9th.
Aguilar's playing up the middle with that big guy in the big white jersey. I wonder if Hader's arm's coming right out of his jersey.
Bellinger turns on a ball to right field and deep. They have done it again! Bellinger off Hader. The Dodgers take the lead in the 9th. And he flexes his way all the way around the bases. Number 11 of the season from Bellinger, the most impressive yet.
What a swing. He didn't try and do too much. 2 hands on the bat on the follow through. Good balance, and he meets it. Very little weight shift, very little aggressiveness in the swing. Hader supplies the power. Bellinger showing off his muscles.
You are right. Just nice and easy on that swing. Just flip the bat through the zone. Muncy lays the bunt down foul.
His plus minus in the last 5 outs is +2, robbing the home run and hitting one. Wow.
Muncy by the back foul, and it's 0-2. Second home run Josh Hader has ever allowed to a left-handed hitter. He was a strike away from striking out the side. It's another 2-strike home run against him. He gets Muncy. And boy, has this been a roller coaster of emotions on a Sunday afternoon. The Brewers tie it in the bottom of the 8th. Bellinger gives them the lead right back. At this point,
I would like to go with the birthday boy, but I think there's somebody else that's been taking a few of his presents.
Brought to you by Lexus. Cody Bellinger robbed Christian Yelich of a home run and then hit a home run of his own to break the tie against Josh Hader in the 9th. And now Orlando Arcia out in front of a first pitch from Kenley Jansen, strike 1.
Have a day, Jock Peterson. Have a day, Cody Bellinger.
They're giving Jansen a chance at redemption here after he gave up the 3-run shot to Eric Thames. It tied it at 5 in the last of the 8th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitcher's spot next, and then Lorenzo Cain, and then if it gets there, Christian Yelich. It would behoove Kenley Jansen to go 1, 2, 3 in this inning. Going up with a 1-2.
Closers are usually not proud of W's. Unless they come into a tie game, it goes extra innings, they pitch that extra one and they get the W. But Kenley is very happy that Cody's got him back out there trying to get this one.
He strikes out Arcia for the first out of the 9th.
This ball has some serious late cut.
And so Ben Gamel's going to pinch hit in a 6-5 game. Jansen gets the bottom of the strike zone, 0-1.
The intensity and the anger is oozing out of his pores.
That's inside and ball 2. Two balls and 2 strikes on Ben Gamel. Most pitches Kenley Jansen has thrown in an outing this year will be matched with this next one, 20. The 2-2. The count goes full with Cain waiting on deck.
Yelich in the hole. Cain, a hard guy to double up.
Jansen comes set. Here's his 3-2. That's hit down the line, foul, and we'll do it again. Either looking at taking 3 of 4 from Milwaukee or splitting the 4-game series. The outcome of this one will determine who takes the season series. 7 times in 10 days these teams meet up with a lot of drama. Another payoff and another foul. Another 3-2 pitch. Got him looking, 2 out.
Well, it's a big pitch in a 1-run game, and it's a really big pitch when Christian Yelich has got a chance to be standing in the on-deck circle because of that pitch. Get Cain out and don't see the 2018 MVP.
So this becomes everything right here. Kenley Jansen against Lorenzo Cain with Yelich looming on deck in a 1-run game in the 9th inning. Strike one to the inside corner.
Well, if it's hard to hit late cutting action, it's also hard to umpire it if you're the batter. When Kane saw it, it was a ball, but it found its way to the corner.
Now 1-0-1. Through the slider, Kane took it. We've talked about wanting to see some more of those sprinkled in.
I like the fact that even if he doesn't land it for a strike, I think he should try and make it a ball like that, but show him that he will throw it. He can have a lot bigger spray pattern with his cutter. There are a few fans yelling balk, but there's no balk when you drop the ball. You can actually start your delivery and stop with nobody on base.
Dodgers 6, Brewers 5, last of the ninth. The 1-1 to Lorenzo Cain is taken outside for ball 2. Cain has a 2-run home run today. He's hit 3 this season. He's been an on-base machine for the Brewers since they signed him prior to last season, and that's all he wants to do here is get on and get Yelich to the plate. Two balls and 2 strikes. Jansen and the Dodgers a strike away. The set for the 2-2. That's a little bit up and in. Full count.
Maybe the argument paid off for Kane.
With Yelich waiting, fasten those seatbelts for this 3-2 from Jansen. Flipped foul. We'll do it again.
For those that don't believe that the man on deck influences your pitch selection and where you're trying to throw it, it's a perfect example that Kane will probably get something to hit.
Another payoff. He struck him out. Jansen to the inside corner to get Kane looking. He strikes out the side in the 9th. And on Cody Bellinger's home run off Josh Hader, they win it 6-5 and take 3 of 4 from Milwaukee.
Kenley Jansen stumbled in the 8th, but in the 9th, in the highest of leverage, with the best player in the big leagues possibly on deck, he comes through.
Wow. We may all need an off day after the drama of this one at the tail end of 17 games in 17 days. It's their 7th win out of their last 8. For Orel Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, for happy birthday boy Jock Peterson. Joe Davis saying so long from Milwaukee. Dodgers will head down the road and take on the Cubs after tomorrow's off day, opening the 3-game series at Wrigley on Tuesday. Happy Easter, everybody. Stay tuned. Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers, starts now.